you've like been starved for just great new outdoor and hunting content, I'll be honest with you, you're probably in the wrong place. We don't have a clue what we're doing. The next best thing, if you don't have a bush hog, a weed eater, or spray readily available, you just drive in circles around your feeder, donuts per se, and get that grass lowered down. You're actually ripping it up, so now eye level, your camera will have a nice view. Ta-da. Y'all have stuff that you listen for in the stand that you consider good luck for no reason whatsoever? The train is one of them for us. Train, cardinals, if you see cardinals. I don't know, it's random. Makes me wish I was in the stand. You ever hear that? Oh man, he flew away. I've never seen an eagle on this property. My dad saw one, it's probably been 10 years ago. That had to be a red-tailed hawk. But if it wasn't, and it was an eagle, how freaking awesome would it be if the only eagle I've ever seen in my life was here on July 5th? Man. Miracle! Woo! All right, I'm gonna give you one more look at basically how to redneck bush mash the grass down around your feeder or trough, in case y'all missed it the first time or need a second look, more instructions. This is what it looks like right now. It's really not too bad between me and the trough. Very tall back behind it. So here we go. As you can kind of see, we got a lot more dirt visible. A lot of that grass will die. I'll be able to see way back in this field now as well. Wow, it's really dark in there. Way back in this field. So that's what we're looking for. Just trying to get it to where when the deer are here, we see the deer. Mission accomplished. We're getting somewhere now, boys. We can for sure do some damage with this thing. They've upgraded our equipment. They've dropped us off this baby right out of Andalusia, Alabama. She's a beaut. Hopefully, I mean, they've really done a number on the roads on the way out. Look at the beautiful clouds. Squirrel. But this is nice right here. Maybe they'll just leave it for us. We had our, I don't know, lift bucket thingamajig a few weeks back. We've upgraded. We can work with that. So you're out there and that's your piece of equipment. Wow, look at that. So, boss, we got to change the number. How you think we should do it? Screw it, man. Just mark it out and put it in Sharpie somewhere. So I'll see that going down. One less horsefly in the world. Love to see deer hitting mineral sites, no matter what time of year it is. But for us, they really start to slam them in April, May, June, July, August. And then it kind of shifts out of it. But like for me, I mean, I love every phase of the calendar. So if you're breaking your season out into, you know, you can break it down into 2 or 3 sections. There's probably 4 big ones, if you had to ask me. Hunting season, obviously. You got recovery season coming out of hunting season. Growing season, which is where we're at right now. And then your fall prep, which kind of is the last couple months before you actually get to start hunting. But depending on where you are, that's going to be different for all of us, all those 4 seasons. But like, if those are the 4 we're talking about, man, I love all 4 of them. And if you can find guys that love all 4, or, you know, maybe you love a couple of them and you can find somebody that really has a passion for the other 2, and y'all kind of work together and they kind of take charge in what the plan looks like in those other seasons. Odds are, if you're watching this, you love all 4 as well. So for me, like, already before season even ends, before hunting season even ends, I'm ready to get back out there and start seeing who survived, start to work mineral sites, start to help them recover from the rut, and kind of jumpstart their bodies getting back to a healthy condition to where all that excess nutrition they can find in spring, summer goes towards antler growth. Then during the growing season, you know, if you've been watching these vlogs, I'm a little psychotic. I mean, I want to be down here. Like, I want to be down here as much as possible. And velvet pictures are just, it's the best time of the year from a trail cam standpoint. Then you got the prep season, the fall prep, which is, you know, going to be planning. It's going to be hanging stands. It's going to be trimming lanes. Love it. I mean, that's your final chance to get out there and really discover something that you could use to kill a deer. Like, that's your last chance. Adjusting on the fly in season's really hard. You got to go in there on them and be on top of them. I mean, we all do it and it can pay off, but if you can put in that work a couple months before season, you're just going to find more success. So I love that whole strategy, walking around trying to find just little pieces of information that maybe the deer are telling me without doing it on purpose. Like, this is the direction they want to come into this plot. You can study trail cam photos. It helps a lot. This is the direction they come into that plot. This is the direction they leave. This is the buck that's walking out before the hit list buck that I'm looking for, the shooter buck that I'm looking for. So it's just, and then obviously hunting season is, I get to hang out with my buddies that live further away, which I'll be here every weekend. And as much as they can be up here, obviously hunting with my dad, I love doing that. My brother, my friends from around here. So there's just you gotta find people, and it could be you. Like I said, if you're watching a off season blog from some random guy in South Alabama, you probably are the guy. You're probably just like me. I mean, you wake up thinking about deer season, you fall asleep wanting to look at trail cam pictures. So finding guys that are kind of in to share that workload. There's always something to do in a hunting club, on a hunting lease, whatever your setup looks like, and just getting after it, making the most of every season pays off so big. For us, it's paid off massive. We've kind of been getting after it for 5 to 8 years, probably about 8 years, where we kind of started being intentional about more intentional about what we were shooting, trying to let some of those pretty 3-year-olds get older, pushing ourselves maybe to push past, killing 4-year-olds and try and hunt mature deer. And then probably about 5 years ago, taking a step further with whatever that looks like, spring planting, feeding something more premium, and it makes a difference. So, but it's always more fun and more rewarding when you've got people in the mud with you, like thinking about it, working at it, sweating, and hopefully you got guys like that are crazy. I mean, basically that's what it comes down to. We need help. I mean, but you get out here and it's like so peaceful, and then season rolls around and a guy that hadn't killed a buck in a while shoots a nice one. It's just like, there's nothing like it. I mean, I joked last week about our neighbor. Actually, I didn't joke. The dang guy that edits these videos put the thumbnail, "My neighbor killed my buck." That's not, I would never say that. Like, Brandon's awesome. We have a great relationship with Brandon. And I guess there's a hierarchy of like, yeah, there's a couple guys that haven't killed a nice buck in a while, and I want them to kill a nice buck. And then selfishly, like, I would go put myself next. And then like the third category is, I want to know what happened to the deer. I don't want him to disappear. So I would rather Brandon kill that buck than some random stranger I've never met. And it's like, well, what happened to, this buck? I don't know. I'd rather know where it went. So even though you are third in the categories, if you see this, Brandon, I am happy you killed the buck. The reason I'm excited for our neighbor, Brandon, when he kills a buck, even if it's one that we have been chasing, is really because it's a lot more fun to be excited than to complain about it, for lack of a better word. But to just mope around and not just be in that with him. Like, I want to take the pictures of the buck for him. He killed a buck later in the year that I took pictures of that deer for him, and I'm just as excited as anybody for him. We put so much time and energy into growing these deer that when they reach maturity, I want someone to harvest them. I don't want them to die in the creek like we had one. Like we found one this year. I don't want them to, get shot somewhere non-lethal and it jack up their rack. I want someone to make a lethal shot on them and harvest them. And even if means my neighbor kills that buck, that I get excited about that, because not only is the goal of killing that deer, now it's been achieved, even though it wasn't us. We have made room for these younger bucks to have more nutrition, to have more area to grow up and live in. And I still believe at this point, even though we're 3 to 5 years into like really working hard to try and grow bigger deer, the key to us reaching new levels on our property is not getting more nutrition to the old deer. It's getting more nutrition to the young deer, so that when those young deer, especially bucks, that have been born into a better situation than any deer have in the history of our property, you start to look into epigenetic switches with those and their fawns, and unlocking levels that those fawns can become in the future, especially buck fawns, unlocking things that allow them to grow bigger than ever before, because they're not prioritizing survival, they're prioritizing antler growth, like literally. So that's why I get excited, because even though that was a stud, I mean, it was a stud that our neighbor killed, there will be bigger bucks because of what we're doing. And that's part of the process, is killing these mature bucks that are on the property right now to make way for the straight up dudes that are coming. I mean, and trying to keep them healthy, get them excess nutrition. And so that is why I really was happy for my neighbor. So if he's watched this whole thing now, I can tell you guys, honestly, I was so pissed. I'm just kidding. I really was happy. Okay. Y'all ever seen something like this? So I opened this up. There's a bunch of ants in here, and it looks like they're eating these knobs. Like the edges of them are rounded off. They were square. Anybody? I have a lot of these cameras, and I've ran them for a couple years now. Never seen anything like that. Like the ants fighting back. I don't know. I feel like I've said a bunch of dumb stuff today. Talk about an interesting game trail. Deer. Deer. Turtle. I don't know what this plant is. Or really stump. But the deer are tearing it up. I don't see any more of it. And this hardwood bottom. A little stream. But whatever that is over there, deer are wearing it out. It's a light green leaf. So I walked over here to check out a 110-gallon water trough that I put in a little while back. And we call this place the terrace. You can kind of see the opening right down in there. We bush hog it. Nice little transition point between the pines over in there. Little hardwood hillside, I guess you could call it. But there are a lot of deer moving through here. There's a lot of good buck sign from last year. Rub. But you can just kind of see how mashed down the hillside is, where they're just funneling through here. We have a field back behind me called the back 40. Just working heavy along this little hillside, and it makes me want to come back in here. We're at the beginning of July, so that to me is, let's start thinking about where we're hanging stands. We get to start hunting around October 15th every year. So seeing stuff like this, the trails for sure are current. The buck sign obviously is older, but it's got a few good white oaks. Right there. So there's some small ones. I can't tell if I'm pointing at that. That might reduce, but there's a few really nice ones that I feel like have a high probability of producing. Man, look at that though. So we may come back in here in the next month. We're gonna have work days. We're gonna have a work day in July, work day in August, and try and get a stand in there in that funnel as a giant good news bee. See if I can get close to him. Buddy. He don't want to spread the good news to us. A lot of good sign in here. I like this. It'll be hard to hunt that hillside, but if I could figure out this is super thick below it. It's super thick above it. So figuring out what it's looking like for them transitioning from bed to food, and if they're moving in between, bedding up there, bedding down here, we could kill them in this little pinch point. It's not really a pinch point. In this little hillside draw. So we may come back and look into that. Good deal. So as of this recording, we are at 95 subscribers, which we're stoked about. We're headed to the Deer Expo this weekend, which when this is posted will be last weekend. So we hope to grab a few there too, but we're happy to have y'all. Happy to have you. And we want to do a lot of awesome stuff. If you're looking for, if you've like been starved for just great new outdoor and hunting content, I'll be honest with you, you're probably in the wrong place. We don't have a clue what we're doing. But if you're willing to stick it out and stay a while, it might never get better, but we will have fun.